You're listening to the Beretta Brothers. Two of us.
Oh, this show. I didn't know it was this show.
Yeah, that's what we're taping today.
That's my old buddy, old pal, old chum, old buddy, old pal, Joey.
Joey, yeah, it's cool. It's called Truro Daydreams, as it says on the shirt. So happy to have it. Mm-hmm. What have you done with your place?
Oh, well, you know, I felt like the pink brothel curtain wasn't, you know, it was enough already. And decided to go into a different room and get a little further away, not feel like I'm in a corner. You know, I was like
a little claustrophobic, yeah.
Yeah. See this little guy right up here?
Yeah.
That's a little Roman marionette soldier that Mom brought me from Italy.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Anyway, there's all kinds of little things back. There's your guitar.
Yeah.
And your book, Ali.
It's not the guitar that I broke over your back, is it?
No, it wouldn't be here. There's a Jesse drawing.
One of my favorite things is the top right corner. Tell us about that one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's George Harrison on Saturday Night Live with a toy Kermit on his head. I think it was Michael Frith who was there. This is when they were doing The Land of Gorch. And somebody stuck a Kermit on George's head. And that was I actually bought that at an auction, signed by the photographer.
That's right. Nice. We're gonna have to take pictures, close-ups, and show some of those. But I have something cool. Do you remember this?
Yes, I do. What year though? What year is it?
It was 1970.
1970. So I was at the age of 6 allowed to go see Mark and the Devil.
I know. There we are.
With all of our cousins. I wasn't 6 here. I was older.
That was close to the age we were, though, right?
No, I'm not 6.
Is that a little? Yeah, I guess not. That's no. So. Let's see. Top row, cousin Lisa and you on the right. Middle row, cousin Billy, cousin Susan, and cousin Gary. Bottom row, cousin Diana, cousin Nancy, and me.
And then we're missing Harry.
Yeah, we're missing Harry Romano.
Yeah.
But anyway, let me show this. That was probably the most famous scene of the movie. They pull out this woman's tongue because it's all about the Salem witch trials
and torture.
Yeah, it was obviously
a horror movie. Yeah,
yeah.
So basically, it was probably the most disgusting movie that could have been at the time, and all the older cousins, including Gene, decided that this was a good idea to do on a holiday. So we all went. And our parents were like, "Yeah, go, let the kids go." I guess
they probably didn't even hear us say what the movie was. It was just
they dropped us off.
Yeah, go.
That'd be great. And so we went, and as you walked in, they handed these bags out, and
stomach distress bags.
Yeah, basically a vomit bag. And we went in and we sat down, and we sat near the wall. And about maybe 10 minutes into the movie, somebody turned to the wall and said, "Oh my God, vomit!" And it was definitely a stain on the. We all jumped over the seats, and we were all worried that we were all going to puke, but nobody did.
But I have it, and look, it's positively the most horrifying film ever made.
Yes, and Herbert Lom was like the guy in it who did all the torturing, and he was the chief of police in the Pink Panther movies, the one that Pink Panther or that Clouseau drove crazy.
Maybe the only V-rated movie too.
V, that's right, rated V for violence. All right, well, that's some memorabilia, and we have a guest on who happens to love a lot of memorabilia. Hi, you like that little segue?
That's a nice segue.
Like what I just did?
I saw it.
Well, I think he's here, Jane. I think he's in our lovely green room.
I just heard a door open.
Yeah,
okay.
I think, and he's. Let's wait for him to grab that the brownie that we left.
Okay.
And then we'll
the right one.
Here we go. You ready? Let's bring him in. You ready? Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Bobby Moynihan.
Woohoo! Oh, he had the brownie.
You got the brownie. Hey, man.
How you doing?
How much time have you had to spend on the Ark?
It's almost done. It's almost done.
Is there still 2 of everything? Or?
3. 3. I went nuts.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, you are
Yeah.
insane. You
Yeah.
are insane.
I don't care anymore.
And instead of the staff, you went with a hat.
A little hat. Yeah. Well,
Right.
Yeah.
Hello, lizards. Hello, cow.
Good morning, giraffe.
Well, we're so happy you're here. And you know, we don't waste a lot of time. We just jump right in with our little questions and things because we don't want to bore the shit out of you or anything.
You don't want to just make a little small talk first?
Not really.
Hey, how are you? How are you?
I'm great.
Good.
Next question. No.
What is it? Yeah, what does it matter? I mean, you know, we're all kind of the same at the moment, aren't we?
We're all burning. Yeah.
Do the same stuff, yeah. But I wanted to go back to probably my favorite role of yours, if we could.
Okay.
Doorman in Homicide: Life on the Street.
Why weren't you nominated?
You know what? I was twice.
For Doorman?
No, I don't. This is the best part about that credit. That's not me.
No. God damn it.
I don't know who it is. I don't know who it is, but it's very funny. I think it was like Homicide: Life on the Street. Maybe I don't remember anymore at this point, but I don't think that was me. I've had it before. I've had people go like Homicide, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I don't remember that one.
So I'm completely unoriginal as well as getting it wrong. So that's
no,
great.
it's my favorite thing to bring up. I kind of love it. I have a vague memory of doing something that Richard Grieco was in once. So if that's what it was, maybe it was that.
Oh,
it was very early in my very early.
Well,
when I,
let me ask.
know what I was doing.
Could it be Nine the Hard Way? Is that what we're thinking of? Nine the Hard Way.
Nine the Hard Way is a movie I made in college with a buddy that I think is only on a VHS tape that he has. So he got on IMDb and put that there. Hi, Christian. Congrats.
Awesome.
Is it possible you did Homicide and they had the same brownies in the green room?
It's very true. It also could have been Artie Lang or Mandy Patinkin.
If they had a baby.
Did you ever want the musical talent of Mandy Patinkin and the addiction of
And here you go. The nose.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Love you, Artie.
Hey,
I love you, Artie.
So but I wanted to I was saying to Gene, I remember vividly the first time I met you, and I don't think you probably remember the first time you met me.
I think SNL. No, the tree lighting.
That's right. And I was telling Gene that when we were rehearsing, and I looked over and I saw you, like you were like where the people were standing, and I said to myself at first, I was like, God, that guy looks familiar. And he's like really smiling, and he's like looking, you know,
like he's a grown child.
Yeah. And I was like, he looks so familiar. Who is that? I said to the person I was, doing my hand, I was like, who is? They're like, God, he looks really familiar. And then Dave Goles kind of goes, Bobby, and he like comes over. I think he called you over, and then you kind of came in to where we were, and then I realized who you were. But well, yeah, were you? I mean, you've been a fan, right, of the Muppets? This is
my entire life. Yes, I was I had 2 pictures on my wall when I was I had many pictures on my wall, but I had 2 pictures. I had one of Lorne and weirdly enough, Dave Goles. I really enjoyed the Muppets. I loved Jim Henson too, but like I was diehard Gonzo from the start. I don't know why. Because he's a weirdo. Because he was just the weirdo, and I think I related. Yeah, but like Muppets and SNL were kind of the big ones. That's from I dare you to try and find another picture of me where I'm smiling. I've never seen my teeth in a picture before because
wait, hold on.
Or maybe you have it. Oh, I have a Pepe one that I'm pretty happy in.
Oh wait. Actually, there's a grin. There's a grin with Pepe, but the Dr. Teeth one. Do you have that? Or
amazing! I have some Rolf.
Right.
When you guys came with Jason to SNL. No, yeah, I was a diehard fan. I mean, I remember sitting upstairs at SNL and being like, oh God, like it's Christmas week, and like I got to write something good, and then looking out the window and seeing that the Muppets were, and just like, running full speed down the stairs.
Oh, that's what you did? Oh my God.
100%. I just ran up to the side and was just I think I had seen Dave Goelz on the street. Wow. And I was like, Mr. Goelz? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, my name's Bobby Moynihan. And his son recognized me from SNL. And I was like, he was very confused, but I was just my gosh.
then I confused it. I thought he knew you already.
No, this was before. This was before that.
I see. I see.
Then
okay.
I ran down, and he remembered me, or he saw me,
right.
And I got to come take that picture, and that's the happiest I've ever been.
But then, I was just going to say, but the other poster, of all the people to choose from Saturday Night Live, you had Lorne. That's an interesting choice.
Well, yeah. Well, it's funny. It was like a picture it was a black and white picture of the studio with the crane chair said Saturday Night Live, and Lorne was just like, I think it was just like a cool picture. I wasn't like Lorne Michaels, what a businessman. But I loved it all, and like I knew who Lorne was, but like I used to tape it off the TV and listen to it, like
right.
Yeah. Who were the big kind of people on Saturday Night Live when you started watching it?
I feel like, Hartman.
Eddie Murphy?
No, like Phil Hartman, Dana Carvey, like a little bit, like like that kind of started it, but like mostly Farley. And I think like when I was in high school, college, like really like when I was watching, like leaving, not going to college parties because I was staying in my dorm room to watch SNL, or bartending at Pizzeria Uno and just with 5 customers and just sitting there watching SNL and going, maybe someday.
Yeah. You know what's interesting about that is when I was in college in the late 70s, the parties convened around the TV for Saturday Night Live because it was so fresh and new.
Yeah, and it was.
I remember seeing Devo on there for the first time.
When I told my father I got Saturday Night Live, he was like, "It's the one with Mick Jagger." And I was like, "Yeah, I guess. Yeah, sure." He was like, "You got health insurance?" I said, "Yeah." Congratulations.
That's the one where the guy trips and falls.
Yeah,
pretending to be President Ford. Is that the one?
They taped that thing. It's not
right. One of my favorite things is what's the challenge show? I'll jump to my favorite part, which is you trying to run across. water.
American Ninja Warrior. Yeah.
Gene, have you ever seen this?
I didn't see that one.
He's a contestant on American Ninja Warrior, and he is failing immediately at every challenge.
It was James Anderson and Kent Sublette, these 2 writers at SNL. We were having a conversation about American Ninja Warrior and about how like there's always some story like like I'm here because I just overcame some sort of disease or like my town just had a hurricane, and it was always like some horrible story, and it's like, so I'm doing it for them, and then they just fall immediately. And we thought that's why we wrote that.
But it's so funny because he tries so hard. I mean, literally tries to run across water.
I wrote it down. I'm going to look it up after.
Oh my God, it's the best.
So you were there for 9 years. Every summer hiatus, was there always that in the back of your head? Am I going to get the call that this is it?
Yeah.
I guess that's in everybody's mind.
Yeah. I'm still nervous. Yeah, it was nuts. But it was auditioning. It was auditioning every single week for a show that you're already on.
Yeah, when the Muppets came, we did the thing with Siegel. Mm-hmm. I don't know how, but we had a chance to go up and sit in that exterior room outside of Lorne's office, and we were sitting there, and all I saw were you would hear like and then like 2 people would come out like not really happy and just leave. Like they were cut or something. It was just oh my God.
You wake up Monday morning like maybe this is and you just spend the entire week hoping, and then at 10:49, a half an hour before you're supposed to go on live TV, it's either like the best moment of your life or like I gotta go put on a happy face. Like it was
right. I was trying to wrap my head around that process when we were there, because they were saying, like, you know what, Seth, we may not do some of this stuff in the news section with them. We may cut you guys because it may. We're like, okay, huh?
Oh, I've been in costume, and they're like, we're not doing that anymore. And I'm like, what? When did that happen? And they're like 5 seconds ago, and they look at you like 5 seconds, like you had the world. Like 10 seconds at SNL is 3 minutes in the real world.
Wow.
It definitely had that happen many, many times.
Did you ever have the opposite happen where they were like, no, we're not doing it? And they were like, why aren't you ready?
Yeah, a little bit. There's a famous one. There was one sketch where I was in a full cop uniform, and they were like, we're not doing that. We're doing Talk Show with Ravish. It was the Jude Law show. And I was like, what? I had to get like a full tux, a beard, and a turban on, which now I'm realizing, thanks SNL for making me do that. But you can watch it online. You can watch the commercial break, because when it started, Fred is standing there, and it cuts away, and when it cuts back, he's sitting in a chair, and it cuts away, and when it cuts back, the desk is there. Like, they had to keep. You see the walls coming up behind him, and for the whole sketch, you see fingers on the side of the wall because they didn't have time to clamp it, so you could just see them holding the wall up.
That's
and like you see me, you literally see me go, like, and they have the whole commercial break online, because it was just like, it was nuts. It was like, that was live TV. It was scary, but it was also the greatest. I'm sweating.
Yeah, right.
Do you have a favorite character that you created, or a sketch that you created that you always go, you know what, I wish I could have done more of those, or I really wanted to explore that character more?
I mean, yeah, of course. I mean, Drunk Uncle is very close to my heart for the sole reason that, like, Colin Jost was just, I mean, one of the most prolific writers in that. One of the most prolific. Oh, my fat little chin. I miss it. Colin Jost is one of the greatest people ever made.
Really?
And yeah, he really is. He's really just the best, and a gentleman, and really, really smart, and really, really funny. And he was just so good to me while I was there. And I just remember him going like, you want to do an update thing at like 5 a.m? And I was like, I'm tired, man. Like, and he was like, well, I got to write an update if you got an idea. And I was like, I mean, like, maybe I do like a drunk guy. Maybe it was like, it's like the drunk uncle that everyone hates or something. And like, and he was like, I'll see you in an hour. And like, he wrote a bunch of jokes, and it was just so, I remember I had worked on a sketch where I was like, I think I was I was getting married, and I had gone to get fitted for a suit, and the guy's name was Lionel, and he had an L on his shirt, like Laverne from Laverne and Shirley, and he also had an L on his cufflinks, and he kept telling me to not waste his time. So I like wrote this, and I was like, this man fell into my life because he is the next SNL character. And I spent a day, 15 hours, like writing it, and I was just like, that's going to be the one. And then it bombed at the table. Just bombed.
No.
And I remember, I have a very distinct memory of being like, well, I hope that Drunk Uncle thing is funny, because I got nothing this week.
My favorite thing with Drunk Uncle, you do something with your eyes where they just go completely dead for a few seconds. I don't know what you're doing there, but
it's my favorite. It's my favorite thing to do. It's just not being able to focus, and you have to pretend that the cue cards are always moving.
You know what Dave Goelz and I, speaking of Dave Goelz, he and I always do to each other is we look at each other's each other's foreheads instead of into our eyes, or just off somebody's eyes. There's always so much fun to do because people are trying to either get in it, or they're just freaked out.
This is something I do in real life. When I don't like somebody, I constantly look at their shoulder.
You do.
If someone's giving me a hard time at like a store, I'll just start glancing at their shoulder because they automatically start going. And I like to, that's my way of getting revenge.
Can I mention another one of my favorites of yours?
Sure.
Because I know people like this.
Yeah. That was me and Colin too. Colin Colin went to high school with a guy named Anthony Crispino.
Oh, okay.
And he was like, he came up to me and he said, what about a guy that just gets all of his news secondhand? We call it secondhand news. So all the news is wrong. And it was completely his idea. And I was just like, that's hilarious. And he's like, what do you think this guy would sound like? And I have a very distinct my dad would go like this. My father would go like, yeah, hey, you pass me the salt. And I was like, why? Is it a secret? Like, what? Who are you looking for? Like, he used to do this kind of weird thing. Like, he was looking over his shoulder before he would ask you a question. And I just kind of threw that in. And then, like, I think, like, the first time we did it at Dress, I was just having so much fun with Colin. Just like you would work for 2 weeks to try and create something, and it never worked. It was always 3 in the morning. You said something stupid to somebody, and they would go, "Maybe that." Like, and
so is that how that works then? If let's say Colin is doing update, is he kind of the one who decides what bits and pieces are going to be on there and who he wants to work with to ask to do sketches? Is it his plan?
No, I mean I feel like, you know, Seth to me was the captain of the ship. Seth Meyers was Seth, Colin, and Kenan Thompson were like, right, for me, like who I learned the most from. Seth was just a genius. He was very good with people. He was always, it's a very scary place and no one holds your hand and tells you what to do, but Seth did. And Seth understood that. And he was always, even at his most annoyed at 4 o'clock in the morning, he would sit down and help you. And wow. Colin was kind of the same way. And Kenan I learned from Kenan just like, hey man, you got the show. That's it. You know, like relax. Like, you know, right. It's like now you should just be a good soldier and have fun. You know, it was like, it gets to you. It gets to you when you're like, I tried hard. And they're like, you're not doing it. Like you start to get like, I'm not good enough. And Kenan was like, man, you're here. Like he was always just here. And like you're here. Yes. Well, that too. 100%.
The ironic thing is that when you get in that frame of mind where you just think, oh, I don't care anymore. That's when you're most relaxed and your best stuff comes out sometimes.
Oh yeah, I mean, like I some of my favorite sketches were in my last season because I truly mentally was not available. There's a sketch, if you watch it, it was with the Chris Pine episode where it was like Kenan is Neil deGrasse Tyson. I don't know why. But he's like, he's like hosting like Masterpiece Theater or something, and it's like all about an old episode of Star Trek that never aired. And it was like, they're going to air this lost episode of Star Trek that never aired. And it was, the whole thing was the director's brother wanted to be an actor. And he was like an Italian guy named, it made almost no sense. And the whole joke was I was Spock's brother named Spocko. And I was, it made no sense, but it's one of my favorite things I got to do on there because it's with Brian Tucker, another person who was amazing. But it was just so silly. And like, when I watch that sketch compared to anything else I ever did on SNL, that sketch in particular is just me going like, I don't know anymore. I tried. I got on SNL. Like I had a great time. Thanks for watching. It's very just like, that's me. I guess that's what I brought to the show is weird Italian characters.
Right. That's awesome. But, I love that.
Yeah, I always loved like the weird ones that I got on at like 10 to 1 or like the Hobbit Office or the Undercover Boss with Kylo Ren, like that one, like those ones where those were the big ones for me where you got to step into the world. Like it's like you love Mad Men and now you're in a Mad Men sketch with people from it, or like that
Star Wars
really. I mean, there was a year where I wrote 5 or 6 Star Wars sketches and they all got on because it was you know, it was like the half a minute where Lorne acknowledged that nerds watched Saturday Night Live.
I loved one of my favorite concept scenes. Your sketches you're in is the one with Trash Yard Mutt.
Oh yeah, that one. I mean, the funny thing is that was The Rock's idea.
Oh yeah.
Oh really?
He probably always wanted to do that, right?
his whole thing was like we always thought it was funny. Like we always talked about like a wrestling promo of what would happen if we actually started talking smack about the person's personal life, and we were like, that's hilarious, yeah. And that was Rob Klein helped write that. That's one of my favorite ones I was ever in.
Yeah, it's really good.
Oh my God, there's like so many things we could talk. Can I just mention like a few different just credits and things?
I can't believe it's also very weird. I've been a dad at home, so it's very yes, please do, because I'm remembering slowly what happened in my life 10 years ago.
Well, all right. So you do a lot of voiceover work.
Yeah, but right? before you move on quickly,
yeah.
I want you to know something, and this is the truth. If I had to keep 2 pictures from Saturday Night Live that I have, because like my 2 favorite moments on SNL, I have a picture of when I left SNL of Tom Hanks and Alec Baldwin and Keenan carrying me off stage, which is the craziest thing in the world to me. And the other picture that I have framed is me during the Blue Jean Committee sketch with Rolf and Gonzo, because that was the first time they cut over to the side for 1 second, and Rolf and Gonzo are looking at me, and then it cuts away. It's like a half a second long, and I'm in the Muppets universe. Like I lost it.
Well, here, I could just reach actually right in front of me here and show you one of my favorite pictures.
Oh, come on.
There you are.
That is the greatest. Gosh, can you believe that happened?
No. I think my
daughter was 12 days old.
I remember a little, and she was backstage, and
I brought an infant, and my favorite picture I have is her with in Sweetum's mouth. She was terrible. She hated Scooter.
And your wife was so patient and just so sweet. She was like, she had the baby, and she's like, oh, but here, let's get a picture over here.
We had the baby. We had the baby and flew and moved to California, and then a week later, I was on stage with the Muppets, and like I still don't get it. It was the craziest. I think the 02 one was more emotional for me, definitely.
Why do you think? Why was it so more emotional?
Oh, geez. The one at the 02 was different because the first one was like, I have to do this right, and like I was in it a lot more. So when we went to the 02, I had already done it once. People in London people in the UK don't have SNL, so no one knew or cared who I was. So we had a lot of more cameos. It was like David Tennant, Kylie Minogue,
right?
And they were doing like full sketches. So I had giant breaks to just sit there and watch you guys, and it was like it was the best. And I also like had some personal stuff going on. I had a daughter, and like it was crazy. Like I remember looking down the line at a bunch of famous British people with tears down my face, and them being like, you're a grown man. but yeah, that was but
Hollywood Bowl had Paul Williams. We had Paul Williams, which was awesome. Great. But I really loved the Hollywood Bowl one because it was more nerve-wracking because it was new, and we weren't sure how it was going to go, and it just unfolded beautifully. Even when we messed up, it was good.
My biggest regret was the Swedish Chef scene. Was that like I couldn't get it right until like the last show. We like finally really got it, and then I was like, I'll get him in London, and I didn't get to do it in London.
But yeah, so let me just mention some things in case people like aren't aware of all of the things that you do and have done. But like Inside Out, right?
Yeah.
We Bare Bears with Dave Goelz. We Bare Bears, Secret Life of Pets, The Simpsons, your Saturday Night Live stuff, Nature Cat with David Rudman.
Yeah,
right. My son's favorite, David S. Pumpkins, Halloween special, and the sketches.
Ridiculous.
Godfather 3.
Godfathers.
Yep.
We did. We both had a little bit of fun on Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
Yeah.
While you're that.
That's the best part is when I'm in the scene. One of the scenes that I'm in, I'm one of the men's rights activist, and I'm looking through a file folder, and your character's name is on the file folder. It's like a little secret Easter egg, like we knew each other, like we had worked together in the past. It was very very little Easter egg.
Billy, while we're doing this, do you want to play our pick a number so we can talk about some of the ones that come up?
Yeah. Okay. All right, and then we should talk about Lofi. We should talk about Lofi
for sure.
But yeah, we're going to play a little game called Pick a Number. Can you guess how it works?
F.
No, that's a letter.
Oh, shoot, I did it wrong. I did it wrong. Gotcha.
You want to do a number between 1 and 21. If you pick a number, spin the wheel. Let's see what comes up.
I got it. Am I supposed to tell you, or do I keep it to myself?
Yeah. Well, you can show the audience.
I'm reading a 5.
It's the number 19.
Okay.
Oh, well, this is kind of fun.
What? Oh boy!
Can you take us through?
Where do you want to start?
Go from left to right.
This is called. I can tell you what this is. This is called Bobby picks costumes he wants to wear, and then reverse engineers sketches around them.
Got it. Awesome.
I mean the. Oh yeah, I could go through.
The penguin is awesome.
Actually,
can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Can I just ask you something? Sorry,
yeah.
And Gene, let's leave this up. But the makeup process on SNL, like, do you have to plan? I guess you do. Like, to get into the penguin's makeup, don't you have to know that you're not in like the next 2 sketches or something because you need to get out of it? Or
yeah, that's usually at dress, and then on air it all just falls apart. And like they I would say yes, they definitely try and make sure that you have time, but I definitely became somebody on the show who became like, they were kind of like, Bobby will put the makeup on. like Bobby won't complain about putting the makeup on. I had like 2 years where I did Snooki, so they had to paint it would be like in a commercial break, they would paint me orange, put nails on, do my whole face, the wig, and then I would do it. And then in the commercial break, they would have to wash me off. Like, there's a couple sketches where you see where like my knuckles or my ears are orange.
Oh
like,
my God.
They missed a couple spots, but like, I remember that mask one. That mask one was hard. The one where I was the mask with Jim Carrey.
Oh, really?
That one was like maybe the roughest one because there was a lot of makeup on that one.
Wow. So sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Can you take us through?
No, this is crazy. Me and Taran Killam, when Michael Keaton hosted, we lost our minds, and we wrote a pre-taped sketch where we just kept begging Michael Keaton to play Batman with us, and they were like, "We're not going to do that." But then, like, all of a sudden, it somehow became the monologue.
Oh my gosh!
So like we turned it into the monologue, but then there was still like we wanted to do the pre-tape, so we essentially just talked them into letting us do these shots so we could get in the costumes and have pictures for the rest of our lives. But me and Taran just loved Michael Keaton, and me and Taran loved each other and loved writing together. So that was that one. The Gonzo one, I mean, that's my first year on the show, and I wanted to play Gonzo, and Seth Rogen was hosting, and he had been on before. He had been on before and played Rolf.
Oh, right.
And, he was on with Andy once, and he played Rolf. So when he came back, I was like, he's already played Rolf. Maybe this will work. And I wrote a sketch where the whole joke. By the way, very different address. The whole joke was the Muppet bus driving down the street, and they got involved in a hit and run.
Oh,
but I don't know if you've ever seen this sketch.
You're behind a wall though, right? Isn't everybody like?
It was supposed to be the front of the bus, the Electric Mayhem.
Oh, it was the. Okay.
And
Right.
Driving, and we were all in the bus, and the whole at dress when I wrote it, and like to Lauren's credit, Lauren cut this, and at dress when we hit the person, a big puff of yellow feathers and a bimbo went flying, and the whole joke was my idea was that we had hit Big Bird when he was running.
Bird, yeah.
And Lorne was like, no. Even at 11:30, you don't hit Big Bird with a bus. And I was like, now I look back and I'm like, that was awesome. But yeah, like that was 15-year-old Bobby being very selfish and wanting to shoehorn away in to play Gonzo. I still have that Camilla. It's right over there.
Oh, you do? No kidding. But wasn't there another one where there was like
I wrote a couple Muppets one. There was one with Blake Lively hosted, and it was the monologue. Okay. It was the Christmas monologue, and we were all in front of like a wall because the whole joke we put that wall there because the joke was they were Muppets. So the whole joke was the wall was there so that because we wanted to be people there. And I was very proud of myself because I only moved like this, like there was rods. I only moved like a puppet, and I look like a maniac because no one else is doing it.
Kristen Wiig. Can you just talk a little bit about Kristen Wiig?
Sure.
I met her when we did the show at the after party, and I was really uncomfortable because I was just so taken with her talent, and you know, I felt like this little schoolboy, even though I don't know how much older I am than her, but you know, like I was just like, wow, you're amazing. And I just probably drooled and walked away. I don't know.
Watching her work, man, it's like watching Gilda Radner and Will Ferrell's kid. Like she just was put on this earth to be on that show. There was nothing she can't do. There's no impression she can't, like, you know, she's just one of those people that was like, just, you know, like it doesn't matter what she did, just as long as she was on camera.
Yeah.
She always knew what to do.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, she just always knew what to do. I was just
going to say, I think Bridesmaids is one of the best comedies in years. I can watch that over and over.
I mean, like, besides like Will Ferrell and Tina, like, and maybe Tina Fey, other than that, like, she might be one of the best person to ever come out of Saturday Night Live as far as just skills. Like Tina, her, like there's Kate McKinnon.
And such original characters that you would never, like sometimes you feel like there's characters that are hints of other characters that you've seen, but there's something just genuinely original about whatever comes out of her. Kristen Wiig. Yeah.
They're Kristen Wiig characters.
Oh, I see.
She created her own kind of language, like comedy language. It's like, you know, when you're watching something written by Tina and Robert Carlock, or you know, when you're watching something, you know, written by Tim and Eric, like, you know, like Kristen had that. She had, but also Kristen was like an assassin. She'd have one line, and she was.
I love when her and Fred Armisen would do the songs.
Yeah.
Want to pick another number?
I was going to ask if maybe you liked number 14.
Okay, let me think about a number. I was going to
pick something
weird. As I was going to say 14.
Right. 14. Here we go. This is a good one. I can feel it in my bones. Woohoo!
Ah,
Lofi.
Lofi.
I like Lofi. Who designed Lofi?
Gosh, I don't know who exactly. I drew the original ones, and then they kind of morphed into newer ones, and then that hat was added later. Lofi's insane.
And so can you tell us about Lofi? Because I remember we had lunch back before COVID arrived.
Yeah.
And you were telling me about this, and you were like, I just went and pitched the thing. I think you literally like did the day before or something.
Yeah, I think I was going to do it the next day.
For the next day, right. Yeah.
Lofi is a single father and the New York City's #1 weed dealer, and he lives in a tank. And it's a weird improvised show about a weed dealing manatee. That's zookeeper Dan, played by Jay Farrow, and they hate each other, but there's a love. They're Batman and Joker. They also look extremely alike. I wonder why.
So you said improvise. So you improvise a lot of it.
Yeah, we could. I used to love, still do, Dr. Katz, professional therapist on Comedy Central,
right?
And that was like, it was, the whole thing was, Dr. Katz was a therapist, and different comedians would come on and they would just kind of improvise and animate around it. And I really wanted to do something like that. So of course I had this Lofi idea, but I went like, you know, if he can't leave his tank, he's in one place, and like we can always have to come back there. And I just thought it would be fun. So we kind of did it like Curb Your Enthusiasm. We called people in and we were like, so in this episode, Lofi needs to get an instrument for his son for a talent show. And then we would just improvise a bunch of stuff, see where it went. And then at the end, I would kind of make a radio play, kind of like put it all together, and then I would hand that in, and then they animated.
Oh, nice!
Wow. Well, I got to tell you, I've had a great time doing that show with you because I love my character that you gave me.
Thank you, I appreciate it. That's what happens. That's what happens when you get real excited and offer people things, and then the budget comes in. Yeah,
you didn't offer me. I'm teasing you because I
didn't ask you.
No,
I probably didn't ask you because I was afraid to, because I thought you were going to say no.
No. I'm just talking with you.
If it gets picked up, I'm going to ask.
Oh no, I knew that would work.
Yeah.
But he asked me.
It would work.
He asked me.
You can both do it. Yeah. Thank you.
Asked Gene.
Yeah, he's Lofi.
Oh.
We recorded mine, but just haven't done that season. Yeah. I take it in another direction. It's more like, hey,
all right,
what's up, baby?
Yeah.
So wait, so when is it on? Is it on now? No, not yet.
Yes, you can watch it now. It's on Comedy Central YouTube. Yeah, it's online. You can check it out now. Go on YouTube, type in Lofi. Next week is the last episode.
Did you happen to bring any of your famous memorabilia along with you today, or did you leave that?
I did. I mean, I think you know me. I have a lot of stuff. That's all I ever wanted. This might be. I mean, my prized possession in my life is this, and I feel like I might get arrested. But
what is it? No, you won't. He's much bigger.
It's much bigger. The nose is a different color.
And did you use Cheetos? Did you use Cheetos for the nose?
But he's cool.
Yeah, it's not bad.
They did a good job. He's just about 30% bigger or something, right? I mean, he's just a bigger. Yeah.
I mean, my whole house would be filled with these. They also, it's amazing. You have a bunch of Muppets that sit there for 10 years, and then you have a daughter, and now they're all ravaged. This was made for me at Saturday Night Live.
Oh,
that's great.
Uncle.
They made this.
Oh my god!
Now. Yeah,
that's great.
It's this one.
They did a great job.
Yeah,
I have a friend who's filled his studio with Muppet characters that he's had made.
I mean, that's my dream. That's what I'm trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
That picture that you showed earlier of with the Hollywood Bowl of finishing the Muppet Show theme song. Like that's my dream. My dream is to just have the arches all around and have them there and lie down in the middle silently and look at all of them. Yeah, that picture. You guys, one of my favorite things, and I wish I could take it down, but it's in like a really nice case. When I hosted the Muppet Show, I brought all of the Muppets action figures, and you guys all signed them for me. So it's like,
yes, that was so sweet,
man. Beautiful. This I just found when you were telling me to show something. I was like, oh yeah, I have this, which I stole.
Oh, is that from?
I stole this from SNL.
A Muppet script?
When you guys did the Jason,
is that what we taped up?
You taped this up. This was Dave Goles'. You taped it up underneath.
Nice.
That's right. There you go. That's cool.
Taped up underneath the piano, and when you guys shot it, like the second the commercial went and the chaos was happening, I ran on stage under the piano, grabbed it, and the crew guy is like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, I'm stealing props.
That's great because Dave, I'm sure there's a lot of great little Dave notes in there too.
Yeah, there is.
Very specific about it. Yeah,
it's great. Yeah, it's great. Oh,
that's awesome.
It's wonderful. I love it.
Yeah,
I have the record that I broke over my knee in the Muppet live shows when I in my Fozzie bit.
Oh, cool!
Like Fozzie had his record and gave it to me, and I kept everything. Anything.
What do you like? What do you think of my T-shirt, Bobby?
That's pretty amazing.
You know, it's when he did a CD called Truro Daydreams.
Jerry Nelson.
Yeah, he passed away, yeah. And they made these up for it.
I didn't know that he did a CD, but I knew that.
Hey, do you like my T-shirt, Bob?
I do.
Oh yeah.
I almost
like
played
this?
him once.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
that's amazing.
My little Kermit Bell. Listen, if I happen to end up on Lofi, this could be yours.
Done.
I don't know. Geez, there's just so much stuff. Like it's hard to even wrap up. I don't want to let you go. Thank you.
It's so good to talk to you.
This.
No sweat. By the way, the new Muppet Show is absolutely fantastic.
Oh well, good. I think there's some fun stuff in there.
It feels like the Muppets are coming. It feels like the Muppets are in charge of themselves again, and I'm very happy about that.
Well, you know what? I appreciate you saying that because it is true. It's kind of you know, the core of the Muppets is you know, at the Muppet Studio, and the performers are really getting to be a little more a part of that process, and I think you're starting to feel it, which is great. So I appreciate you saying that. It was fun to do. We had a great time doing it. But I think hopefully we'll do some more.
Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe you come do those.
Oh, anytime. The people deserve it. The people need the Muppets.
Yeah.
Well,
especially now. Thank you.
I know, right? Yeah. All right, man. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Peace and love. Peace and love.
Bye.
Yeah.
That was cool.
There he goes.
Yeah, you can't even cover. We didn't even scratch the surface with all the work that he's done.
I looked up and it was an hour. I was like, what happened? It just like flew.
Well, maybe we'll have him back down the road or something. Maybe we can have him back and he can just do his whole collection, you know?
No, let's not. I don't like him that much.
Okay. He's pissed.
What I meant was
well, now he knows how I feel about him.
Yeah, well, good thing I didn't really have a relationship yet. So
yeah, you guys were just getting started, so
yeah,
no real love loss.
Yeah.
All right, so let's wrap it up. Shameless plug, Gene.
Well, gang, go to theberettabrothers.com and tell your friends. And while you're there, subscribe to the YouTube channel and join the mailing list.
Yes, or go to GeneBeretta.com and check out all the great books and things that he's got there and his great artwork. And subscribe to Gene.
Yeah.
Can you do
No,
that?
it's not.
We don't subscribe to Gene?
No, but
Right.
you can.
I would.
Yeah, you can just fantasize about subscribing to Gene.
Yeah. All right. And we should just mention Lofi. All the episodes are up, right? On YouTube, Comedy Central YouTube. Just type in Lofi, as Bobby said, and check it out. It's really fun. Thanks, Bob. Bobby.
Bye-bye.
Hey, Bobby. Boom.